Hey, chickadees. Welcome into today's episode of Mojo Mysticism. I'm in yet another hotel room, so I'll tell you why, or I'll remind you if you don't know here in just a minute. But we're going to continue. We're going to pull from the Wisdom of the Oracle Pocket Edition. That's one of the decks that I travel with. I try not to travel with too many decks because they take up a lot of space. So I love this pocket edition though. This one's very easy to travel with, so I really love it. And the reason I travel is just by way of reminder. I think I've mentioned it at least on the channel, the YouTube channel before, but I am an instructor for the Design Build Institute of America. And I do instruction on the certification course that they offer, and I also am an instructor for their owner boot camp for project owners that want to use Design Build, among a couple other things. So that keeps me busy and it keeps me on the road sometimes. So, and right now it was a particularly busy couple of weeks here, so with a couple of classes that I was asked to help support DBIA with. So we have 2 cards that have come out so far. I'm very blessed to do that work. I really enjoy it. That my day job is part of my day job. But part of what I do during the day is help owners go through the design build process. It's so much fun. I love it so much. And I really, really do enjoy working with owners and working with others that are learning design build. It just gives me so much joy. So enough about my day job. Let's get to reading some oracle cards. So this is interesting. So we have the 3 cards that came out. We're going to start. This is the first card that came out is card number 9. This is Treasure Island, card number 9. Treasure Island. And then the second card that came out, these all came out in the upright position, which is interesting. But the second, because when I pull cards in the morning for myself, like they were all in the reverse, so that was interesting. So this next card is card number 40, Co-Create. Card number 40, Co-Create. And then the third card that came out today is card number 37. This is Never Ending Story. Never Ending Story. Right? So the never ending story is really about the stories that we tell ourselves, and can we tell ourselves a different story? Because the stories that we tell ourselves reinforce. They reinforce what's going on in our lives, and they don't just show up mentally. You tell yourself a story enough, it becomes your reality. Okay, this is one of the ways that we change our perception. So part of what they're asking us, again, this is interesting, the order of the cards is interesting, because the Treasure Island and Co-Create is actually about what you can do if you reverse the story or you tell yourself a different never-ending story, right? So kind of looking at this, I'm just going to tune in for a moment here. Yeah, it's an invitation. That's what this is today. So our guides are inviting us to tell ourselves another story and tell ourselves a positive story. If you happen to be telling yourself some maybe not so positive stories, tell yourself a positive story about how you can actually create a beautiful life. You can actually co-create a beautiful life when you tell yourself a different story. And that story that we want to tell ourselves is about the bounty and the abundance that exists in our life, that already exists. We just have to look at it and acknowledge it for what it is. And so, and then looking at how we co-create with others and how beautiful that is. So I literally spent most of the day today talking to people about how wonderful it is when we work in construction and we do it in a way that we're co-creating, right? We're collaborative. We are integrated teams that are helping to support each other as we go through this process. And we kind of break down the barriers and co-create. And that's really what this is about. And this card reading is it's just so beautiful how it just folds into everything else that I do. And I personally love that. So we get the opportunity and the invitation today to look at the stories that we're telling ourselves. right? Are we living an abundant life? Yes, the answer is probably yes, right? But are we seeing it that way? Are we talking about it being that way, right? Is that the story that we're telling ourselves about it? That we're in this beautiful co-creation with each other where we can create these gorgeous lives full of abundance and just joy and love, right? Or are we telling ourselves a story where, maybe abundance is for others, but it's not here. I'm not seeing it, right? And that's the invitation, is to, in some ways, almost fake it till you make it, right? But begin to tell yourself another story. So anything that's not positive in your life, anything, and I'm not suggesting that we go into toxic positivity mode here at all. That's not what I'm suggesting. What I am saying is that your life is a direct reflection of your perception. Okay? Listen to that. Your life is a reflection of your perception. And if we want to change our lives, we have to change our perception. Okay, and our perception gets changed when we do all kinds of crazy things like affirmations, right? Like telling ourselves stories, like really watching our speech, how we talk about our lives, catching ourselves in thought patterns. And over time, we begin to reprogram our subconscious mind to tell a different story. So is it fake it till you make it? In some ways it is. Right? But it's intentional, right? We're not going around faking it till we make it with resumes or things like that. But what we are doing is saying, I accept that my life is a direct reflection of my perception. Okay? I create my own reality. So if I create my own reality, I can also change my reality. And to do that, I'm going to change my perception. And to change my perception, I'm going to begin to really listen at the stories I'm telling myself. And that's how you do it. So, if you don't like what's going on in your world, right? And I'm not necessarily talking about geopolitical. I'm talking about like your world in 3 dimensions right here in front of you. If you're kind of unsatisfied with it or certain areas of it, really listen to your thoughts and listen to your speech around it, because they will tell you. Right? They will tell you where the invitations are specifically to change language that then will change thought patterns. Okay? So we get ourselves into these situations by listening to thoughts that come through our mind, grasping onto them and giving them much more attention than they need. And then they become a language, then we language it, right? And then it becomes real. So we have to reverse that. Right? We have to reverse it to undo it and then repeat something else. That's what I'm talking about. So that's the message today. It's a pretty simple message. Treasure Island, co-create, and never-ending story. Right? So we tell ourselves, what we tell ourselves is what our reality becomes. So take a look at your reality. Take a look at what's going on around you and really just listen for the clues in your own language. This is not to judge yourself. There is no judgment here. Okay? We're not in the business of judging. What we're in the business of is understanding. We're in the business of awareness, and we're in the business of changing perceptions. That's it. And so become aware of what's going on around you for your own sake. Right? No judgment, no shame. Right? Just listen. I caught myself saying some things that I don't normally say the other day, and I realized I have an opportunity in this area to make adjustments. Right? This is a process that's ongoing. It doesn't end. Right? It doesn't end. So the invitation really is open invitation, and there's no expiration date. So, because we will be engaged in this for the rest of our lives, and continually seeing opportunities where things have started to slip in, right? This is culture. This is the culture we live in. Things will slip in that if all of a sudden, you're thinking about it, and then you're ruminating on it, and then you're talking about it, and then your reality becomes a reflection of it. Perfectly normal, right? What we want to understand is that we can control that. And that's all, right? Literally no judgment. Please do not judge yourself. I'm not judging you. Don't judge yourself. All right? Just become aware. And just watch what happens, because it's wonderful and it's beautiful and it's reliable. It's reliable. All right, chickadees, that's enough for today. I love you. Thanks for being patient with me as I was flying yesterday. And thanks for being part of our community. We'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.